as you interlock the two.
Now stretch them right as...
Soccer. And the...
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
I felt like a reptile. I felt like a reptile.
Just organising them all into little parts.
Mate.
And then they're all going over up against the wall.
Oh, nice.
It's going to take me a while, but it's quite therapeutic.
I've just done the same. I've got, at the minute, there's no bowls left in the kitchen. Like, literally, mixing bowls, no jugs, no fucking cups, dishes. I've got, because with a girl Lego, with their Lego friends, not girl Lego, but Lego friends, it's like all pastel colours. So you've either got pastel purple, pink, turquoise, but then it's like mixed with earth tones, natural earth tones, because why not? So then basically I'm trying to split all the Lego, and so that I've got white, black, grey, all the different colours, and at the same time Libby wants to build something custom. And I'm like, yo, can't build something custom, because then if we need the bit of that to make your Moana ship, we're fucked. Oh, Daddy.
Real world problems, mate.
This is it. This is it. If you want your Moana ship working, you want your Moana ship working, don't
I
you?
don't even know what that is.
You know the Disney film, Moana with the rock?
It's what?
It's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie.
Disney movie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He doesn't have a favorite Disney princess. I asked him.
That completely came out of nowhere. Sitting watching TV, hanging out, no conversation for at least 20 minutes. All of a sudden, I got a question for you, like a real serious one. Like you know what I mean? Like who was that name that popped up on your phone screen? Kind of serious voice.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh shit, this is deep. What's coming next? It's like, who's your favorite Disney princess?
See?
Yeah.
You know what this is? You know what this is? It's a trap! Don't ever answer that, because it seems like such a nonch question. Like, oh, what's this off the cuff? Which Disney princess do you like? Oh, I didn't mind that one. Oh, right. So you want me to dye my hair, do you? No. Oh, you like medium-sized
It was
fish?
Jasmine, so I was like, oh shit.
No.
You didn't realize you were recording.
Oh man, that's a
Baby, come on. Never not rolling. Never not rolling.
Still, I just like being notified.
That's a favour. Now that is a favour that is in the chamber forever. He could be in Botswana in the middle of the night with, I don't know, triads stringing him up against a tree. You still have to answer the phone now, because that's the one favour that's got to pay back. That's the favour, man.
Yeah. So you've been sorting the Lego out then, have you? It's girl Lego though, is it? It's the weird looking stuff.
Lego Friends, where they have long legs.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah.
Although we have got a bit of Lego Friends in the house, because I've been ordering flowers. I didn't know Lego made flowers.
Yeah.
We've got all the Lego Friends flowers now, which is lovely.
Nice. Well, yeah. The thing is, it makes all the women in. If you mix Lego and Lego Friends, it makes it look like all the Lego dudes have had mail order brides, because they're like and super slim, cracking bodies, and they're just like these dumpy, square-legged fucking oiks that couldn't get a real bird. And they're like, oh, yeah. I just ordered this Jasmine off of Amazon, boys. It's like, all right.
That sounds like some of the countries I've been to, and I won't name any to not offend any of our viewers.
No, but you know what their opinion is? You're all the same height lying down. That's what the Lego men say.
Is that what they say?
They could just put some studs on the bottom of their feet, just put some wanners on there, and they'd be fucking massive. But they would look like they had special shoes.
It's not that I ain't got options. Hang on. You can't sit that cup out of shot. What's on the side of that? Who's that?
Who's this?
Who is
How
it?
dare you? How dare you? This is Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
This is Toby Keith. So this is one of the finest country singers, apparently. To be fair, and this isn't to make you feel bad, because I know you won't, but the mug was bought by Stacey's late auntie, the late great Nikki, that we've mentioned many times, that we now have her dog and her mug. And it was one of them, when I went round to the house to collect the dog, I said, do you need any bits? Do you want this fast lettuce chopper? And I was like, no. She'd obviously been on the shopping channel and bought some random bollocks, but I was like, no, I'm good without that. Do you want a lifetime supply of pasta? And I'm like, no. And then I saw this. And dude.
You were like, Toby Keith, my thing.
Initially, it was the volume that piqued my interest, because it's larger than your average mug. However, I then noticed she'd never used it, and she had the price tag on it. And I was like, that's an expensive mug you bought yourself. That must have meant a lot to you. However, what I was going to do with it initially, because her youngest granddaughter used to go to America with her, Carla. And we were stood in the kitchen, and obviously emotions are running rather high. And I was like, take this mug, Carla, because she'd have wanted you to have it. And she was like, no, I don't want it. Fuck off. I was like, no. Take it. And I brought it home with the intention to send it her for Christmas as a bit of a piss take. Not like with a ghostly hand on it from Nick. It would have been on me. You know what I mean? But that was my intention. And then when I got it home that night, I was like, do you know what?
I want it.
She'd have made me have that. So it's now my mug. That's my one at home with Toby Keith. And go on Spotify, mate. He's got some fucking streams. Honestly, if you look now, hold on. This is live. We are not live, I know. One sec.
I name a single song by him.
Oh, mate. Me neither, but he is absolutely smashing the tits off it in the country scene.
Is it?
Unlike my internet, which is obviously hamster wheel. Toby Keith.
Hang on. That's a nice new hat. I really just noticed your...
See? That's what I was going to say. Size doesn't matter. I was going to be with the Lego men because size don't matter. But check it out.
Love it.
Let me tell you this number, and then I'm going to show you an exclusive that I was going to save to the end, but now you mentioned the hat. Toby Keith should have been a cowboy. 65 million plays or downloads, whatever them fucking numbers are. Courtesy of Red, White and Blue, 72 million. He's patriotic, obviously. As Good As I Once Was, 62 million. 70 million. And the best one is about, you know, the little cups that they get at like frat parties in America. You see them on all the different films, the red ones. They're made by a company called Solo, S-O-L-O. If you look underneath it, it says Solo. He wrote a song called Red Solo Cup that my children have banned me from playing.
That has 55 million downloads.
55 million?
How many cowboy hats can you buy with that?
At least 4.
What, isn't it?
Yeah. What, made out of real cowboys?
Yeah.
2. 2.
No, I'd want a hat worn by a real cowboy, like a famous cowboy. I want a hat that was worn in a shootout in the Wild West. You know my thing. I want something that's authentic.
Who's your cowboy? Who's your go-to? This is who I want it. Like, you've got Billy the Kid. You got Arkansas Dave Rudabaugh. We know about them too.
Who?
Arkansas Dave Rudabaugh.
I don't know who he is.
Arkansas Dave. It's Christian Slater out of Young Guns 2. It's a real thing, but that's who he is.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of any. Hang on a minute. Wait there. I've got just the thing. Veronica, you're gonna have to fill the silence.
Do you know any songs by Toby Keith, Veronica?
I don't even know who that is.
Bullshit. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet it's your ringtone.
I swear to God, I have no idea who that is.
That's fucking eerie as fuck with just a window and like no light. Go on.
So, shit all over my office. It's a mess. It's all Lego though, so I can't complain.
Yeah, can't grumble at that.
What have I got to show you? So it jumps us on. I mean, this is relevant, but while we're on this subject, tell me if you remember having a fucking load of these books when you were a kid.
Are they ladybirds?
Of course they are. Look at those. That's the set as well. That's the set. The 707 series. Book about pirates, story of the cowboys, story of the Indians, and the Battle of Little Bighorn. Printed in where?
Bristol or somewhere like that.
Loughborough, England.
Oh, there you go. Oh, even closer.
Dude, that was 24 pence when you could buy that. 24 and 30 pence.
29 pence now.
Hey, what?
29 pence now. To be fair, the people, Ladybird have done some like mock ones of them. How to be a grown up. You remember they did the how-to book?
Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah, like I think I bought like handbooks about dads or something. I think.
Yeah. How to hide a joint.
Dude, that's one. That's one for sure. There was one in here that was like famous cowboys. There was a page, and it was. I found it interesting. Apparently, the town marshal. There you can see him there. Look, there's the town marshal.
Looking dapper.
Job. Well, this is the point. This is the point they make. They were usually very well paid, so they didn't look like all the rest of the cowboys. They looked like businessmen. You know what I mean? Like they were well dressed.
He looked like Sawyer from Lost. You remember Lost, the TV show? Sawyer's was the bit of the rugged heartthrob that did a Davidoff cool water advert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some cool cowboy movies. Are you a fan of Hateful Eight?
Yeah, man. Fucking hell. Brilliant film. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved it. How can you not love, what's his name, with his mahogany moustache?
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell's the man.
Yeah, it is good. What about Hostile? Have you seen that?
As in the torture film?
No.
That's what.
As in the torture film?
Hostile. Isn't that the torture film?
No. Hostiles. It's Christian Bale.
Oh, Hostiles.
Hostiles with an S on the end.
Yeah. Sorry. Hostiles, the torture one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no. I say yeah, but I assume
I
it's the name. I have no fucking idea. I don't watch that kind of movie. I'm all about cowboys.
I do love cowboy. Have you seen 3:10 to Yuma?
Yes, I have. I haven't seen it for a while though.
Good film, man. Really good. Thing is, there's a lot of slow burners with cowboys because you start off and you're like, yo, let's watch a cowboy film, and you watch Young Guns 1 and 2, and then before you know it, you're watching some fucking guy get syphilis and die at 27 with 14 grandkids, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, no, I don't hear that. That's the reality of the Wild West, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Sundance Kid, that's the one, isn't it? The Sundance Kid, Jesse James, Billy the Kid. No, the Sundance Kid, that's the one. I'll go with that one. This was my favourite, of course, Pirates.
Of course. And even look at the font. They were ahead of their game, man.
Way ahead of their game. Loved it.
Knew it.
Like this book. This is a kid's book. There's a guy walking the plank there.
Yeah.
That's a well painted illustration of an execution in a kid's book.
That's going to be reprinted in 74 a million times for 23 pence. Fucking brilliant.
Europeans are messed up.
Yeah.
Walking the plank.
We had all the Chicken Little books and stuff like that. So like all the fables and stuff, and most of them were saved at my grandma's house, my grandma Woodward. And when we used to stop there, she used to read us a story. But because she was half cut by the time we got back from the welfare, she just used to make shit up. And I'll never forget hearing all these stories legit for the first time, and I'd be like, that never happened. And like, it did. I was like, Chicken Little didn't go to bed and fuck it all off. And she's like, no, Chicken Little got to the bottom of her problem. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And Grandma just like screwed us over a bit because she just cut it all short and missed the ending.
No, that's no good.
It's never good. Bless her.
Dude, a lot of work went into these illustrations. Look at this one, Captain Kidd smacking someone around the face with a wooden barrel.
And he had it coming.
Probably did.
You know how the captain has to get involved?
He's probably late getting up in the morning.
How many levels down the line has that gone, though, if the captain's got to get involved? He's already said to his first mate, listen, tell Dave to swab the fucking deck. Come back. Deck's not swabbed. So he's had a word with his first mate, clink with a bucket, and that's Dave coming back going, no, mate, I've not finished. Bang, straight over the side. Fuck him. It's probably a whole story of how he died, to be fair. Is it the guy that walked the plank?
Well, it turns out he was a mutineer. So, I mean, the thing is, you can't take a mutineer seriously when he ain't got his shoes on, can you?
No.
Like, when I was on the boat race, no one would take me seriously if I didn't have my shoes on. It was just general rules. It was I accepted it. I'm like, okay, I'm not wearing shoes today. Now take me seriously.
That's it. And if he's wearing a little boy's Sailor Christian outfit, then you can't take that seriously. Does he look like he was christened at 10 a.m. and hit in the head with a bucket at 11?
He has got some of them pedal pusher trousers on. They're unnecessary, aren't they? This was my favourite illustration. Look at this. How terrifying is that? That's
got levels, mate.
Dude, look at that.
That's got fucking levels.
Captain Edward Teach, Blackbeard. Amazing. The thing is, he used to, because as well as reading this book about pirates, I've read a few others as well. And he was legit. Like he knew he was a pirate in the time of piracy. Do you know what I mean? Like he knew what it was all about to be a pirate.
Being a badass. I do like how you've started that sentence with, I've read a few books about pirates as it goes. I've read this one. I've read others, but this is my starting block.
To be honest, you don't need to read any other books about pirates. Like, this is it. That's the book that you need. Look at that. Take you 15 minutes. You can have a cup of tea and drink that before your tea's cold.
Yeah,
It's a good book.
That's not for your reading skills. 15 minutes, you fucking wild man. That's a good 2-day read, that. So, talking about Blackbeard and pirates and exclusives, this is probably Rob Clark's fault. Just to throw a name out there. I like to make myself one-off things that no one else has got or can have.
Right.
Just because I like to be that guy. So this is why majority of my snappies are normally green underneath, because we don't sell the green bottom snaps. So I know that they're mine then, you see. So I don't put the wrong one on. So this is an exclusive that I've not made yet, because I've not even shown you, just because it's beautiful. However, when I spoke to Mandy the other day, I said, you know, someone's birthday is coming up. Let's make an exclusive, and I mean super exclusive drop. So I haven't even spoke to you or anyone about this, but I have got the black.
Oh, look at that!
The black Blackbeard and the camo Blackbeard, Raptor and Raptor. So like I say, Rob Clark's fault, but I am going to put them on sale probably on your birthday, and there are 10 black and 5 camo. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Nice. That's including mine though, right? Because I need one each.
Yeah, I've not even got a camo one yet. So, like, behind the scenes, I'll make yours. But that's it. Sale is that.
So there are 3 camo.
Yeah.
Black for sale.
And 9 black. That's it. That is it. And the thing is, mate, it's just such a nice hat. The amount of people that have stopped me and spoke about it. So.
Oh, you've been wearing yours, have you?
My original, I actually have one on podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to do the test trading. I have to make sure it's all right and it's not gonna.
Have to make sure it fits your head properly, do you?
Exactly.
Left out over here. It's literally the only drawback I've found of lockdown so far is that you've got all the cool merch.
I've got everything. That's it. Well, normally you get the drink.
Well, we're wearing the same one today. I've just got the Coca-Cola colour on.
At least if we are in colour, that people aren't now going to be like, are they fucking matching t-shirts?
I'm in the lighter grey t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm in the really dark grey. Unless it's a dog that's watching, he can't help it, can he? It's all going to be black and white.
That's it. Did you watch the fights?
Fucking did I. I was going to segue onto it when we spoke about Cowboys, just to say how disappointed I was. But I couldn't believe how excited I was. I know the amount of fights we've watched over the years is insane. But to be starved and to have it taken away, I thought I was cool with it. I thought it was like, yeah, no worries, I can handle that. I can cope. I'll be all right. Fuck me, I was shaking with adrenaline like I used to when it was on Bravo or Channel 5. Like, you know, back in the day when you'd have, I don't know, Chuck Tito 1 or fucking Randy fighting fucking Tito or Chuck, any of them fuckers. And I just used to lie in bed, but because I was so like pepped up, I would shake with adrenaline.
And that's run like once a month, wasn't it? So you'd have the anticipation of it coming for a while.
Exactly, but it's like over the years that's just gone away. I'm not really. I only used to ever get it when GSP fought or Matt Hughes fought for some reason, because I followed their career throughout. So you know when you follow someone's career and you don't realise they're a complete scumbag. I'm not talking about GSP, but at the time you think they're a good guy and you're watching them and you're invested in their career. When they fought, I used to get nervous. So I haven't had that for a long time. And then when the whole fight, the main card, every fight I was just jazzed for. And I didn't watch it until, what time did I text you? 11 o'clock, 11 p.m?
Yeah, about that.
I sat up till about 2:30 on Sunday because I had the kids. I just stayed off my phone, stayed off all social media, didn't touch anything. I watched the main and the co-main in bed as soon as I woke up because I knew if anything's going to get ruined, it'd be them two.
Yeah.
So I watched them on my phone, which I hate doing because I don't think it gives it like the format it's meant to have. It's meant to be on a big screen. So then I sat down and I watched. But the rest of the card was like main event after main event after main event, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was. Who were you most impressed with?
Fucking hell. Qatar blew me away. more because I just love Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
And the fact that like when he fights next, nothing will be any different. Nothing will change. Nothing will and fucking hats off to him, man. He was absolutely. I just thought he's going to connect in a minute, and the problem is because Qatar connected so clean, it didn't give that same Gagey Ferguson sort of fight of the night, because obviously he hit him and he put him down. He was done. Let's be honest. And even Stevens was like, "Yeah, fair play, man." But Stevens is like he's like a mini version of Cowboy. Do you know what I mean? Same sort of ethos, same sort of work ethic, same sort of I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. He's just a lighter version of him, and I just that stood out. I mean, Ngannou.
Yeah, unreal, right?
Yeah, kind of filthy. Just I don't know. I wanted to see a bit more.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, it's only going to be the top few fighters in the world that are able to squeeze a bit more out of him. And the problem is he kind of because it's like a lot of fighters that have got such natural power. It kind of robs you a bit of experience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because sometimes you could do with a round or two, just especially if if you're going to find yourself back in a title shot soon, and you've not had much more than a couple of rounds since. I can't think what fights he's had since he fought. Aside from the Derek Lewis one, but you know what I mean? Like,
something.
Overcome a few obstacles, but at the same time, I mean, if you can catch someone with that kind of power, it doesn't really matter what their intentions are, what else they can do.
No. But I was just surprised at Rosenstruik. I'm surprised that it was. If a kid was reviewing the fight, they would have got it bang on. Whereas if you're an analyst and you're looking at it, I didn't see if you broke that one down, but if you're an analyst, you're going to think Rosenstruik's going to be a bit more careful and Ngannou's going to be a bit more careful. Not just let's meet in the middle and fucking, alright, who can I use? Fucking Houston Alexander and Dennis Irwin. Do you know what I mean? Just meet in the middle and you can just murder punch me. Yeah, no worries, let's go for it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And at one point, Rosenstruik caught him. Because I wanted to see what Ngannou did if he went a bit like a deck chair, and obviously we didn't get that close because he just swung in. But I mean, even watching the replay, he was literally like, one of these is going to connect.
Yeah. And I think, like, if you Rosenstruik going into the fight, that's coming at you.
That's it.
I just don't. You don't prepare for that, do you? Like, who do you bring into training camp that can do that? Like, who's going to come at you like that in a sparring session? You don't want someone trying to take your head off like that. So. Like if a guy like Ngannou decides to put his foot on the gas and start moving forward, I don't know if anybody could be that prepared for it. You need options of like level changing or what. Because if you've got good footwork, it's just not. You're not going to get out of the way in time. I don't think he covers so much distance, and I mean, he's sweeping with those punches as well. So like he's casting a big net for everybody that he's moving towards. It's just the top two. You know what I mean? And I think it could be as problematic for both of them as he could be as problematic for DC as he is for Stipe. I think just because of his size and athleticism. But it's all about that level change. It's like he's going to come crashing forward at some point. Is there a possibility they're going to level change underneath him? What does he do with that? How does he hold it up? I mean, when he fought Stipe, I was very impressed at his ability to continue fighting into the fifth round.
Yeah.
My thought was that he was going to start to struggle in the third and Stipe get to his back.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he wasn't working. Like he was pushing and trying to get up all the way through the fight. So, I mean, maybe just the only thing he really needs to plug the gap is the technical ability, and then everything else is there.
Yeah. Well, that's the scary thing. Imagine if he can avoid being taken down or get back up.
Yeah.
Stipe was knocked out by DC, who's not known for having knockout hands. Do you know what I mean? So if the problem is, at the end of the fight, he was stood there and he's like, yeah, we've been working on a few things, working on dodging stuff. And I was like, you didn't dodge fuck all, you just windmilled, dude. But the problem is, that's the energy and the fucking anticipation of the fight, isn't it? You're not necessarily going to be like cool, calm and calculated when all you want to do is go and like take someone's head off, which I suppose we didn't get to see enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was impressive, man. It was
Or maybe we did. Maybe that's all we needed to see. Maybe he just needs to find his way back to a title shot. I mean, he went the distance, didn't he, with Stipe?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that's admirable, especially given his experience in comparison. No, I mean, you've got to even think Stipe's experience before MMA. He was a Golden Gloves boxing champion as well as a high school collegiate wrestler, I think.
Yeah.
He's got combat experience, whereas Ngannou's learning the game as he's going.
Yeah.
And his attributes, bring him up to par with everybody else in terms of what he can do in a short period of time. Yeah.
He's just a terrifying human, isn't he? Just the fucking shape and size of him is insane. For saying, like, on a form, technically we're the same, human, male, and then it's like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger and fucking Danny DeVito. What is going on? So, it's just fucking scary. But
what did you think to the Cruz stoppage? Did you see the comeback from Keith Peterson?
I've seen that Cruz is still fucking chiming on and still kicking off and saying that he smelt of alcohol and cigarettes, and apparently Jeremy Stevens has had to take him home one night before, or he's been out drinking with him. And the problem is, as much as I know he was getting up to his feet, and I was kind of pissed off with the stoppage, but he was getting hit a fucking load.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Dana said before the fight, this would be like Matt Serra against GSP. And I almost gave Cruz a bit more credit than that. Because no one expected Matt Serra to do anything, I don't think. But I honestly thought that Cruz had a really good chance. And the problem is, it was such a chaotic knee that landed. And it was almost, Cruz was putting as much emphasis into moving his head that direction as Cejudo was throwing in that direction. And because his fucking movement's so unorthodox, you just, like, the amount of pressure that made, not accidentally, but he threw his knee out there, and obviously then Cruz is moving that way. He went down fucking hard. Like, Cruz has never really been dropped like that other than by Garbrandt a couple of times, but it wasn't the same sort of drop.
No, it was different. But, I mean, I saw it slightly different, because I think Cejudo timed that knee. And I'll tell you the reason why I think that is if you go back to watch when they clashed heads, like the angle that Dominic Cruz was coming in at when they clashed heads was the same angle that he went in at when the knee landed. So, like, although Cejudo paid for the headbutt, he also made the calculation that, okay, if I'm moving in that direction, so Cruz is going to move his head to there. Because if you watch the slow-mo replay back, you can kind of see Cejudo's kind of tempting him. He's like, go in that direction again. He's like, he knows that he's picked that shot to land. I mean, see, the thing is, I get both sides of the argument, because obviously, like, if I'm in Cruz's position, I didn't want that fight to be stopped. I wanted to continue fighting. I'd be disappointed. But like the middle ground is, you want the fight to continue. You're disappointed that the fight stopped. You're upset as soon as the fight's going. You might even have a quick go at the referee when the fight, as soon as the fight's been stopped. But then, just like Robbie Lawler when he lost to Ben Askren,
fuming.
God damn it, Jesus! All right, dude. I get it. That's your job. That's the trade-off of for every fucking 10 times that you save my brain, there's going to be one time where you might stop it a little too early on. It's not even those odds, is it? I mean, Keith Peterson's a good referee. Yeah. But like, that's the issue here. It's not the stoppage anymore. The stoppage is not the problem. I get it. You can argue it was an early stoppage, but I could also argue that it wasn't. And by the end of the broadcast, and Rogan and DCC in the replay over and over again, they said that they were fine with it as well.
Yeah. It was too close either way, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he took the knee, and then that second shot he landed it reminded me a lot of the one that Romero landed on Rockhold up against the fence. Yeah. That was a proper wind-up, a very accurate punch. Yeah. And the other thing as well, and this is what I like about the shot that Keith Peterson posted on his Twitter, is like, when you get hit with a good shot, and you'll have seen this a bunch of times, like sometimes people do that, their face kind of screws up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their central nervous system's fucking like freaking out, and they're just, and their face screws up. Watch Cruz's face when he gets dropped with that knee. You can see it happening. It's like his body's spasming.
It's almost like he's gone fully into. It's like vinegar strokes. You're almost there, but then you pull it back. Exactly the same. And it is because it's like you've seen people get knocked out, and the thing is, if it's 90% knockout, you still stood, but your face is like ready to be turned off.
Yeah.
That's scary. Well, what did Keith Peterson post then? Has he posted like, grow the fuck up, chill out?
No. So Cruz put that made that comment about smelling of alcohol and cigarettes, and then Keith Peterson posted, I thought I was trying to save you from CTE or something, and then what was it he posted? It was brilliant. Let me find it. It was a wicked comeback, and I didn't think it was unfair either, to be honest. Well, I didn't think it was unfair. It was funny. So Cruz said what he said about the fact that he smelled of alcohol and cigarettes, and he said that when he stepped into the octagon, he wanted the referee to be changed. And then Peterson replied, "I thought by stopping the fight, I stopped you from getting CTE, but I guess not." And then he posted this, which was a meme of Cruz hitting the deck and him saying, "Me in the morning after a night of drinking and smoking."
Yeah, when he's half gone. I mean,
it's gone both ways. He's got some shit for it as well because people say, "Oh, you should make jokes about CT and blah blah blah." But at the same time, like Cruz needs to grow up a little bit. Like, there's no reason for him to act like that. Like, it's a part of like his battle is always going to be with his own ego. It's always the thing that gets in the way of his fight career, in the way of his commentaries. He can't help himself. And he can't help himself. It's unfortunate because he does himself a disservice because he's a great fighter and such a smart dude. But like he gets kind of bitchy and a bit like he gets pissy about things.
Yes,
I get it, dude. Like you're disappointed. The fight was stopped. It's really, really frustrating. You're fighting for a world title against someone that you really don't like, that you don't want to have a loss on your record over. I get it. But at the same time, like when a few hours have passed, there should be someone around him that's like, dude, stop it now.
I was about to say that. The thing is, he doubly represents the sport in being a fighter and a commentator. Okay, he also he seems like he's that guy that when you said pissy, he's almost pithy. Just that real fucking like one of them people that say, "I'm really humble." It's like, yo, if you have to tell me you're humble, you're not fucking humble, bro. And because he sounds like a walking inspirational quote or speech, like whenever the camera's on him, whenever he's been doing this breakdown or what's it, it's like, you got to get up in the morning, you just got to hit the road, you got to get out there, you're not going to get anything for free. And it's like, yo, all right, we get it. But I have these chats with Stace because I've got a wife, and obviously you've got a partner, and people, like, they can bounce off stuff in a real close-knit, just as a relationship thing. Yeah. But then when there's a camp as well, and I mean a camp, like when you've had, let's just use Conan, for example. He would tell you shit straight. And he would tell you, he's not telling you to be your friend. He's not telling you so you give him a free T-shirt. He's telling you because you need to fucking hear something. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's like, if we play a game with the kids, I don't play to lose. I play to fucking win. But I can turn it down a bit that I don't have to dance around when I've beat them for that being a good winner. Same as you've got to be a good loser. And it's like you say with Robbie, he caught himself. And I'm sure that he would have looked at himself and the dad part of him stood back and like slapped him as if to say, yo, act your fucking age, dickhead. And he went, yeah, Herb, I'm fucking sorry, man. That's completely out of order. Whereas Cruz, not only has he said, oh, well, it's a bad stoppage, it's like, all right, let's look into it. And even if the world is 50-50, good and bad, there's so many worse stoppages that you can't even start even worrying about Cruz's fucking stoppage.
No.
Then to character assassinate someone and sort of go, oh, well, you smell like beer and cigarettes. It's like, all right, dude, you smell like fucking lube and fucking bum juice. I don't know. There's no... It's just an accusation. Do you know what I mean? It's just an unnecessary nastiness to throw out there because you're fucking angry. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's just unnecessary to that's his character, isn't it? And the likelihood is it'll get him into a rematch situation. I just wouldn't want to be that. I wouldn't want to be that guy. I wouldn't want to be known to be that salty about something. Like, I really respected the way that Robbie Lawler accepted the that loss to Ben Askren. Like, of course he was pissed about it because he didn't feel like he was out. I was quite happy with the stoppage. I had no problem with it. But but I get why Robbie Lawler was feeling like that at the time.
Of course.
He'd just been choked, almost completely unconscious. Like, got a bit of oxygen back and thought he was still fighting. You know, it's the same as with Kevin Lee and Charles Oliveira the other week. Like, he got a load of shit for like trying to fight on. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't because he thought, I can keep the fight going, or
From his fucking consciousness.
what was going on. Yeah, he didn't know what was going on.
But when you look at people like Benson Henderson against Pettis, you remember when Pettis fucking whipped in that armbar?
Yeah.
You hardly even saw a tap, and he just sort of stood up in that fuming kind of way, as if say, just leave me, just don't talk to me. And there would have been one person there that could have spoke to. It could have been his partner, his coach, or someone that could have just gone, "Are you all right?" And he just looked at him and say, "I'm fucking sorry," because ultimately you've got that weight on your shoulder and that pressure. But the thing is, I think it's hard. Being a bad loser and a bad winner. It's like Cejudo's almost a bad winner sometimes, just because of the way that he is. Like, we almost saw some of his true character when he said to Joe, he's like, "Listen, do you know what? I'm 33. Yeah, I'm a bit cringe, but that's it. I'm done. I'm out." And the problem is, his intention with this cringe character was to build legacy. And unfortunately, that out of every fighter that's ever stepped in that cage, his legacy was already predetermined by the fact that he had a fucking Olympic gold medal. That's fucking standalone, man. Yeah. Then you get a title. That's even more so. But when you watch the video of someone like GSP getting inducted into a Hall of Fame, and like you almost want to stand up and salute as he's getting his fucking speech, how respectful this guy is and what he has achieved. Like, on paper, Cejudo's got like one up on him from the Olympic side of things. But if he has to tell you about it every time he opens his mouth, the last thing you want to hear about is what the fuck is his achievements. Because, yeah, you might have all that, but you're a bit of a cunt. So, I don't want to fucking hang around with you, dude. Just because you're a bit of a shitbird. You're just fucking boring. And if every time you open your mouth you're telling me how good you are, I don't give a fuck anymore. And the thing is now, I'm more pissed off that I'm not going to get to see someone fucking smoking. You know what I mean?
You think he'll retire? I don't believe it.
For the time being.
I don't believe it for a second. I reckon it's a push to try and get more money. I reckon he's testing his popularity with the UFC. Because if he retires and steps away, he knows full well Cruz is going to want a rematch. Yeah. He knows full well that there's a bunch of people in the division, especially at bantamweight, that would have liked to have fought him to get the belt. You know, no one likes to win a vacant title. Everyone wants to take the belt off the current champion. Yeah. And I reckon there's a bunch of people in that division that would like a crack at him.
Yeah.
Even Marlon Moraes, I reckon he would like a rematch. Not that I'm saying he deserves one necessarily, because you know he lost that fight fair and square, no doubt about it. I mean, Cejudo looks amazing in it. I just feel like there's a lot of people in this division that will be calling for a fight against him, and with the way that fight against Cruz was ended, there's a potential storyline there that can be stirred upon. And I think we'll see him back. I mean, like you said, he's 33. Yeah, like he's had a lifetime of competition. He'll get itchy feet, even if he is genuine about it right now. I think it'll get to the stage where he's like, I could jump back in there. He'll miss the fame and the parade and the fanfare, and being able to throw printed pillows at people on stage and stuff.
I was just about to say that. I'd love to know which prick is printing these fucking props for him. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's going to be someone out there that's trying to make money, that's trying to make a living, and all the rest of it. But when he comes up on his moped and he jumps off and he's like, it just reminds me a bit of Sweet Chuck off Police Academy. Remember Sweet Chuck and Zed? Zed was the one. Hey, Mike. And Sweet Chuck was the one who was like real fucking. He just reminds me of that, and I just imagine him pulling up on his moped, getting off. Excuse me, mister, can you print me 3 pillows, please? Be with you in a minute. Okay. And he sits and waits his turn, and he's like, I'd like this person's face on this pillow, please. He's like, no problem. Yeah, $4.99. And he's like, all right. And he gets his props and kicks them every time. You just think, someone's got to tell him that looks wank. That's fucking shit. Like, there's at no point has anyone ever done that in any other sport or any time and gone, like, when Conor rips up that picture of Jose?
Yeah.
That kind of looks forced. But the amount of fucking intensity that was behind it and the people around it, it almost became visceral at the same time. And like the whole crowd, it could have been staged, but it looked kind of real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It did. Whereas when you're getting a pillow out with someone's face on it and like trying to kick it, but you've still got a bin liner in your hand, not even a nice bag, a fucking bin liner, Then like pulling another line, going, kicking that, and I can't see who's on the face. You fucking idiot! Stop doing that shit. Like, just get a better book on being a fucking bad guy or something. Watch, I don't know, go to a pantomime or watch fucking wrestling or just get a fucking idea, because he's just, I don't know. I watched the first Embedded, which I've got to be honest, I was fucking jonesing for. You know, to have a bit of that content.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of Embedded. I haven't seen a suitcase come down a carousel for fucking weeks. So now I have. It's amazing. But
yeah.
But
Well, that's begun again.
it was his story. I mean, his story was heartbreaking. The fact his mum couldn't go to the Olympics and all this other stuff. But if that was told by someone like Randy Couture, you would almost be welling up because you have respect for this guy. Whereas when he said it, I was just like, God, you're going to have to break down a few more walls before I even start to consider liking you. I don't know, it just winds me off the clock, I think, because he's just a bit of a tail.
So are you bothered that he's retired, or does he wind you off the clock enough for you to want to see him back in the octagon?
I want to see it. Well, this is what I put all my fucking chips on Cruz. I was convinced. I thought Cruz is going to do this. I honestly did, because the problem is, when, like, Cejudo got stopped by DJ with a knee. So I was like, yo, he's definitely got a weakness. We know that he can be beat because we've seen him beat by Benavidez in a decision, but we've also seen him beat by DJ with a knee. So I was like, okay, so Cruz isn't any fucking slouch. He's going to do his homework. He's longer, he's taller, he's got fucking wicked kicks. Amazing. We're on this. Good. And it was almost like, if I had to choose out of the people who to represent that weight division to get rid of Cejudo, Cruz would have definitely been in there. Or like an original Aldo. If I could have Aldo and like upgraded him to have leg kicks back, all day I'd have had Aldo back. But I want to see him tested, because when he fought Dillashaw, that was kind of a freak. As much as I agree with the stoppage there, I agree with it but it wasn't like, the way he goes on about it is like when Conor goes on about beating Jose. I know that was calculated and thought out, but you didn't beat the Savage Killer. You didn't have a dragged out war that you came out the other end like Robbie and fucking Rory, yeah, Rory McDonald. Like, that's a war. You know when you get dragged out like a war like that and you go, fucking hell, I beat the best ever. Yeah, you did. When you smash someone with a 13-second knockout, it's an achievement by all stretch. But it's not a dragged out war that you've fucking dethroned a previous king. You've just, well, you've won, but you've not beat him. You've just won. Yeah,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But it's, I mean, like I thought Cejudo looked good all the way through that fight, and I don't know whether anything would change if they fought each other again anyway. I felt like, I mean, the thing is with Cruz, you can always go, oh, yeah, I mean, you know, there was the possibility that he was going to find his way back into the fight, but then he's not a finisher anyway. No. Like, he's a 5-5, you know, unanimous decision kind of fighter, and I feel like the fight was already slipping away from him, and Cejudo was also starting to just kind of get his measures so he could line him up with something powerful anyway.
I think that might be what annoyed me even more. It annoyed me more that Cejudo was doing what he said he was going to do, and he looked good doing it. Do you know what I mean?
No, he did. He did. He looked very good.
I can't take anything away.
I think he is. He's a great athlete. He's a very talented fighter. I always see him back. I'm not a fan of his character in any way. Same as the Colby Covington thing. I mean, I get to an extent why he's doing it, and Covington's proved that it's worked for him because he got a long way with that character. The unfortunate thing is, you know, when that does run its course, and like you're in the situation with Covington now, like, can you keep running that character, and do people continue taking it seriously, or even like humouring it? Because now, I mean, I don't know. As much as I understand people like playing up, there's got to be some authenticity to it as well. Like, the reason people love Diaz is because you get it; it's real. The reason people love Masvidal is because it's real. The reason people love Conor is because even though it can be a bit contrived at times, and sometimes he'll say something that you know he's said in his bedroom mirror 100 times to make sure it's on point.
But he picks a fight and he backs it up.
Exactly, and it's good. The good lines, good delivery. and you can tell he means it. There's a genuineness behind it. Even I would even go as far as with Chael Sonnen, and I've never been a massive fan of Chael Sonnen's thing as well.
No,
but even so, like I could buy into that.
Yeah,
like I could buy into Chael Sonnen being a bad guy. I could go, no, this is a fight I want to watch because God, I wanted Anderson Silva to beat him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like he worked well as a character.
but that's what I think I've always thought, especially with MMA. It's never really been censored or edited previously. So Tito has always been very Marmite. You love him or you hate him. Chuck was a bit of a silent assassin. He looked the part. He could have just stepped off a fucking Harley and outside of a biker bar and murdered 3 people, and you'd have been like, fair enough. That was it. Like Randy being Captain America, they all were the part, but there was never any, because this was as real as it can get. So there was never any gimmick or flounce. It wasn't like you had to be the Ultimate Warrior or Texas Tornado or some fucking made up character name.
No.
But the thing is, when I think people saw Conor achieve and actually pull something off, like you say, even when Conor was originally doing it, Diaz and Masvidal were like, who the fuck is this idiot? This is just us. This isn't a fucking gimmick, bro. And I think the people like that, the Diaz brothers and Masvidal, that have never changed and will never change, because win, lose or draw, they're the same person. I mean, even with Conor at the minute, he's got smashed by Khabib. It's not like he hugged Khabib after the fight and went, fair play, yeah, you fucking whooped me. He's back on him again. And it's just part of him. But I don't think that Conor's ever really that cringe. And I think that's what I struggle with, is Cejudo's got all the fucking skill. Like, I couldn't have taken my hat off enough to even Colby in the fight against Usman, because his skill set and what he was doing was fucking phenomenal. Like, to hang in there as long as he did and look better than when Woodley, a long-time champion for Usman, he looked better than fucking Woodley to me. So, like, I want to fucking buy into that. And because I've watched the sport from fucking day one, I've always been fascinated by people's background and history and story. Like Rich Franklin being a fucking maths teacher and having a good upbringing against Evan Tanner, who's a bit of a soul fucking wandering guy that's like really never found himself. And his like when it used to come up at the bottom saying Taekwondo or whatever, and his was just like Street Fighter, Brawler. Don't fuck with him outside 7-Eleven. Okay, I'm on this guy. Do you know what I mean? He's as tough as as your dad's denim jacket. So it's like those type of things are what sell it to me. Whereas when someone isn't good at acting and then doesn't get told to stop doing it, it just feels dead shit.
Yeah.
You know? So I just could never buy in. Like the Cejudo and the Colby thing, I just kind of want to go like, all right, You remember when The Rock was in wrestling the first time? He was in wrestling as Rocky Maivia. I'm sure he was, right? Came out in blue trunks. He had a massive fucking like Booth font quiff. Everyone thought he was a dickhead, right? Everyone. Then he rebranded himself as The Rock. And he came out in his black shorts. And he had the fucking people's eyebrow. And he had the Brahma bull on his arm. Like the most feeble tattoo you've ever seen. But he was all about the Brahma bull. This is back in the day. But then everyone fucking loved him. And the amount of... And I'm only using wrestling as an example from fucking the 80s and 90s. Where a wrestler would come on the scene and he would either make it or not. And if he didn't, then he'd retry it again without a different mask or a different pair of trunks or a different gimmick. And the problem is you then find your flow to what you actually drop into. And I think there's something in Cejudo. Like, he's a fucking phenomenal athlete and fighter and all the rest of it. But just fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just, for me, it just has to be believable. Otherwise, I just feel like it's... well, okay, two things. It has to be believable, or B, it has to be effective.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it has to work. Like, there has to be a function to it. Like, if you're gonna walk onto a face-off stage with a cushion with your opponent's face on it and kick it off the stage, like, you've got to see the results of that. Like, you've got to see your opponent get
yeah.
You know, like you snatch the belt from in front of someone at a press conference, and you see that, God, like, you motherfucker, give me my belt back, like that. You need that genuine reaction back. Otherwise, it's just like, okay.
All right.
Okay.
What's next? Or you give her a pair of socks to say you can stuff your bra with these, and Ronda fucking smacks them out your hand. You remember when Ronda and Misha at the Ultimate Fighter had a face-off, and Misha had a pair of socks. I'm sure she had a pair of socks in her hand to say you can stuff your bra with these, Ronda. And so I went, there you go, and Ronda fucking hit him out of her hand. I was seething. Didn't say anything, just fucking smacked him out, and then fucked Misha Tate up. Can you not remember? Dana was in between. The Ultimate Fighter was finished. And basically, he was like, right, so here's the coaches, let's bring him into the cage. And Misha, ballsy motherfucker, was like, all right, take these, fuckface. And Rondo did a full mean mug face and just whack straight out of her hand. And was fuming. It was either...
I remember the scene, but I didn't remember, I didn't know what it was about. Okay, that makes more sense now.
See, I don't know why I remember daft shit like this.
I don't know how you remember, mate. I don't know how you do it.
But...
that makes more sense now. Yeah. It's like, remember when... Norman Park and Reza Madadi when they fought in Dublin. I think that was the McGregor Brandao card, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yeah, you were there with Johnny.
Yeah. And and Norman Park came out with a handbag and threw it on the floor because Reza had been he'd been arrested for robbing handbags from a shop. Reza got. The thing is, you can say anything to him and he's going to get fired up because he's a lunatic anyway. I fucking love him to death. He's brilliant. He's awesome, but he's fiery anyway. So you know anything you do is going to push him over the line. That was a lot of fun. That one.
You know, if Cejudo came out in a Dominic Cruz t-shirt with a little white dog under his arm and came out in like high heels and was doing a bit of a fucking dance all the way down, just shuffling. That's clever because that's a bit more fucking tactical. That's something to fuck with someone. Whereas whoever's told him about the cushion thing, I don't know. It just seems just a bit fucking like marketing basics 101. And it's like he got an email in his account and it's like, you know, like one of those fraud emails from Prince Nassim Abubu to say that you've got fucking 25 million in, and it's just a fraudulent fucking thing. And basically made friends with that guy. And he's like, oh, you seem to know a lot about business, Mr. President Abubu. Can you tell me how to market myself against MMA fighters? And they're like, yeah, no worries. Best thing to do is print your opponent's face on a cushion. And he's like, fucking genius. Let's go with that. And I think that's as far as he went with his marketing. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon you figured it out, and I reckon you've got it nailed there, mate. I reckon you've figured out the trick to Henry Cejudo's current fame and cringiness.
And if anyone thinks that I'm just salty because I didn't get to print his cushions, that's not true.
Because if you want to print them, you'll print them anyway.
Yes, I'm going to print some opponents' cushions. When I get to work, I'm just going to kick them across the fucking fairway at Horsley. I just go out there and fucking boot cushions. Imagine you were successful with smack talking. You were successful with upsetting people. Look at Marcus Davis.
Well, I was just thinking this because like, and funnily enough, just as we're recording this now, I've just been having a nice chat with my friend Mike Swick, who was my opponent after Marcus Davis. And
how's this Wicketine?
Yeah, he's wicked, man. We always have a good chat, and it's always good catching up with him. But it's a funny one because obviously he was in a title shot situation there. He was number one contender, and I kind of jumped in and kind of Brian Ortega'd him. You know what I mean? And
you did.
And it's like there's this kind of ongoing joke about it. But yeah, like see, and this is kind of what I felt Conor did to Cowboy when they fought, because like I didn't always trash talk. Like my first fight in the UFC was against Akihiro Gono. I don't know whether that guy speaks any English. I certainly don't speak any Japanese. There was no trash talk.
What's the point?
There's just no point. So then my next fight was against Rory Markham, and there wasn't really like an internet thing there. It was like I was watching the Cage Warriors forum and like following the MMA news through that, and I don't know what he was doing. He was in Iowa training in a barn with Matt Hughes and his twin clone. And I don't know what they were doing, but I don't think there's any internet there. So there was no way I could have had any real interaction with him.
I'm glad you kept that really clean. He was in the barn with Matt Hughes. No one's wives were mentioned. Just Matt Hughes was in there with some other dude.
I'm being as professional as I can.
You could be professional. I could call him a cunt, so that's fine.
So like with Markham, like there was nothing. Like the only thing between him and I was media. Like during the week of the fight,
5 days.
Yeah, he said I had no punching power, and I knocked him out, and that was it. Whereas with Marcus Davis, like he was a prevalent character in the sport. He had people had a presence online that were following him, fans and that kind of thing. So it was like it made sense in that fight. I also knew that he was a very emotional guy. So I knew that there would be a value in poking him and prodding him. And I could literally go down my record and I can go, yeah, I did it to him, I did it to him, I did it to him. Sometimes it was even where I would train. Like when I was fighting Hidetaka Monma in Cage Force, because I knew he was a rubber guard guy and he was a big fan of Eddie Bravo, I would train with Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
That got inside his head. I mean, I don't know for sure, but it must have done in some way. Same with like Marcus Davis. His whole thing was, I'm a boxer. So I moved around the corner from Wildcard and trained with Freddie Roach for that training camp. Again, it's like a bit of a... But like...
It's clever, because that's calculated. It's the same as telling someone with kindness. Like, if you're really nice to someone and they think, you should be a cunt to me, it's like, no, come on, mate. There's something in it. Like, when someone's too nice to you, you think, I'm fucking suspicious of this.
Make sure it's
way.
Yeah. But see, like, to follow on from that, so, like, and why I mentioned Mike Swick is, like, my next fight after Marcus Davis was Mike Swick. But because the trash talking thing had been such a thing, when it came to the Swick fight, he expected me to do the same thing, which I didn't. And that in itself was quite effective, because then he's a bit uneasy as to, hang on, what's going on here? There should be trash talking going on. Like, why is there not trash talking? What, you know what I mean? It was like, it's got to be strategic. You know? Like, Conor didn't use it against Cowboy, and I don't think he needed to. You know?
No. Was the Mike Swick thing almost an equivalent of when you think you know someone well enough to give them a hug, but they go for a handshake, and then when you both back off, they realise you try a fist bump, and someone grabs your hand like that, and they're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, because he wasn't sure. He's like, are you going to trash talk me, or are you going to be nice? Or
yeah, it was just kind of all the way through the fight, through the training camp. It was like I just kind of felt like there was this anticipation that I was gonna like start shit talking him and like try and get inside his head. So, and I could kind of feel it. So I'm like, I'm just not going to.
But you can almost see that in the fight, because the problem is Swick always fought in such a fast fashion. Like, was his first 4 fights something like 3 minutes long combined?
Yeah, something like that.
Something ridiculous.
Like he was blitzing guy.
Well, he was ridiculous. But the thing was, you could tell when you were in there with him and it had gone past what he was used to it being. It was almost like that, because he hadn't had that emotional, like, release of fucking either being fuming or being bros. It's almost sounded like he was on his mind or whatever, because obviously you were just in there ready to knock him out, and you would have smiled at him quite happily doing it. Because I'll never forget seeing the picture, and I'm sure it's you and your dad with Mike Swick afterwards. Is it your mum and dad with all? Oh, isn't there a picture with you, your parents, and Mike Swick, and like
maybe in the lobby of the hotel after the fight or something?
Yeah. And it was almost one of them where I was like, for saying how hard you'd gone against Marcus Davis, to then, I mean, and to be fair, you took nothing away from Marcus Davis. Other than beating him, you took nothing away from him. And wasn't it a split decision, that one?
Yeah, it shouldn't have been.
So when Marcus is telling his grandkids, it's not like he's lost both his balls, he's only lost half of one. But with Mike Swick, you took away his title shot. Like, you steamrolled in and beat the guy who's been blitzing everyone, and you turned out to be a better friend with that guy than the fucking Marcus Davis. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier. Like you said on the podcast, it's easier to be on your side of the screen. Trust me. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just kind of feel like it was all a part of the journey. It's not like I have to sound like a fucking hippie here, but like winning or losing, it's all subjective to the moment. Yeah. Like yeah, okay, on that particular day, whatever it was, UFC 105, Manchester. What was it? 2009? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like that day, I faced Mike Swick and I beat him.
Yeah.
That day. You could take one day out of every year of my life from every year I've been competing, and Swick and I could go at it, and whatever rules you want, and it's going to go back and forth.
Of course.
With almost everybody. Like, it's very rare that you get someone that shuts everyone out forever.
No.
Like, there's always an up and down in your journey, and I look at everybody that I fought, against, winning or losing, like even the guys that beat me, like Condit now, it's like he was a part of my journey, and I appreciate him for having his role that he played in it.
Yeah.
And I have absolutely no animosity towards him and where he's at. I'd still rather be where I'm at. I'd still rather be me than him.
Yeah.
Still rather have my career than his career. You know what I mean? But it's,
I don't think I don't ever think when I saw the Condit stuff, it was never necessarily personal towards him, because you knew he was a former WEC champ and you knew he was a title contender and like you respected him, but it was more about your development of, I'm the fucking man, I'm here to fucking what, I'm just coming off that loss, yeah, I'm just taking GSP 5 rounds, you've got to fucking beat me in my own country, go fuck yourself. And that's almost like you believe in yourself, and you do believe that to yourself, where it's not anything personal against Condit, it could be any fucker stood in front of you. But
yeah.
It was Condit. Whereas with someone like Marcus Davis, it was easy to get personal. Like when Paul Daly fought Koscheck, it's easy to make that personal. But I think there's a calculation that comes into that, like with Cowboy and Conor. Look how many times Conor's done it and ruffled people up, upset them, and then fucking and then fought them. And it's almost been part of the journey. Whereas, like you say, with Cowboy, he didn't need to. Same as, I think that was the first thing that you and GSP had a bad word about. GSP said you're not a mixed martial artist, and you said something about him wearing pajamas.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was like a comment, and again, you know, it's the way it goes. Like, people are prompted to say things in interviews. So like, I look back, like, it's like I got a thing pop up this weekend after the Pettis fight, because he mentioned, well, and this is the thing, I've done it myself there. My name was presented to him, and he was like, yeah, I'd fight Dan. And then that's presented as Pettis wants Hardy and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
That's the way it's spun. That's the media spin. You know what I mean? It's a part of it, and I get it. I'm just like, I think the point I was trying to make when I was talking about Condit, which I don't really think I made very well because I'm kind of rambling.
Yeah, sorry, I've interrupted you as well.
My brain's going. I've just been talking so much about fights recently, and I think it's a bit of a shock to the system. Like, I'm appreciative of that loss to Condit.
Yes.
Because, like, had I won, I wouldn't have learnt the lesson that I learnt on that night. I may have learnt it another night, of course, but I mean, I probably would have done. But I would have. My error on that night was my own ego. And I would have gone further into my ego had I won that fight. So I'm thankful for it. And I literally remember feeling like a different person after the fight. I remember standing in the waiting room with Steve Papp, my coach at the time, and I was waiting to go in to get an MRI scan. And I think the fights were still going on. What was that?
Bing and Yoshihiro Akiyama.
That was it. That fight was still going on, and it was just me and Steve in this like quiet little MRI scanning place near the arena. And we were just chatting about it, and we were laughing about it. Like, I remember standing there, how could you believe that? I was just like 3 left hooks in a row. My hand came down. What a dickhead! Like, I was just so. And then like all of a sudden, I had this like stream of memories of all these moments throughout the training camp and when I'd been doing interviews, and like almost like an out of body experience, looking back at myself and going, dude, that I was a little out of control then. My ego got a little ahead of me.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I mean, that fight, I felt like that fight was close. I felt like I was landing as good a shots as I was taking. Up until I got knocked out. So it could have gone either way. I still feel like it could have done. I still feel like had I caught him a second earlier, I might have been on the winning end, and then I might have become even more fucking insufferable.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have paid for my own ego a lot worse, you know, by public opinion changing of me, and that's something that would be worse than getting knocked out live on TV, I think.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot, because no one's perfect, and I think a lot of life is about how you take lessons, because it's like almost, you know, when Tony lost to Justin, and Justin went straight over to him, and he was like, I don't know what he said, but I know that it wasn't an embrace, it was a fuck off, because obviously the weight of not losing for 12 times and only ever losing once in the UFC, and this is his time. It's been his shot for fucking over a year. He's been overlooked, he's been stripped, he's had his belt taken off him, and this is his time. And obviously Gagey I think Dan Gage is just a good dude. He really is. Like he said in his interview, he's not like this out the cage. It just so happens that he's a fucking savage. And the thing is, for Justin, it's almost like that cowboy thing that he wants to be friends with people. And he did want to go to Tony afterwards and be like, bro, that was epic. Because he was talking to Dana immediately about it being fight of the night. And guaranteed, he's doing that as much for himself as he is to secure Tony 50 grand for his kid and him. And I genuinely believe that's Justin's personality. Because he's that type of person. And he's like, look, give it us, dude. And obviously, as soon as he pushed him away, I kind of felt like, oh, fuck, Tony, no, don't do this. And then as soon as he went over and they had that moment, he called him straight over and he was like, listen, we're good, man. And then he said good job, us, whatever he said. But it was, when you see someone still being angry and almost go back to fucking Marcus Davis not wanting to shake your hand, or Forrest running out the cage after Anderson Silva fucking bingoed him 3 times on a bounce. It's one of them where you almost feel like, I don't know, I get a bit of anxiety that I'm like, oh, this is not what you're going to do. No, lads. I'll never forget when Paulie punched Koscheck after the bat. I knew he was going to do it. As soon as he stood up and he did that shot, I knew what he was going to do. And me and China sat on the settee and I was like, he's going to hit him. And he went, the bell's gone. This is in the space of time that Dan Mergliotta let him stand up. And he hit him. And he didn't even fucking kill him, which was the worst bit for me. Because if he'd have made it worthwhile and we'd had the best meme for the rest of time, he'd have killed him. Well, good, knock him out. At least knock him out if you're going to be chucked out of the organisation. And I think you got to learn from a lot of these things, and most people do. But I don't know. I'm keen to see a new version of Henry Cejudo. Personally, I would like to see him just be himself. And I mean, if that is himself, which I don't think it is, then I'm keen to see the next version. Same as Colby. Like, bear in mind, Colby's got the best story. He's bros with fucking Masvidal. So you could have that's a narrative in itself. Like, the 2 baddest motherfuckers fighting each other, and he's learning a lot of shit off Colby, off of Masvidal. That's a cool fucking story because it's real and it's true, and they're struggling together or whatever. But sort of chose to almost do. Remember when Rashad and John Jones were like coming up as bros together and training together, and then didn't someone say to John Jones? They said to Rashad, "Oh, you 2 boys going to fight soon?" And Rashad was like, "Wouldn't do that to my boy." And John Jones was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking fight him. Yeah, I'll fucking knock his head off." And Rashad was like, "John Jones said that." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'll fuck him up." And it almost like overnight became this rivalry. Do you know what I mean? I mean that marinated for too long, to be fair, but it's very interesting, I think, to see. I always like to see how people come back from losses. I mean, the Pettis and the Cowboy thing was fascinating. Just the way that Pettis immediately put his hand straight up to Cowboy and was like, "That was your fight, dude. I'll take it, but it's fucking all yours, man."
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought Cowboy won the first 2 rounds. I don't know about you, but I need to watch it back. I mean, I thought Cowboy looked good. I thought he fought well paced. I just think Pettis, towards the end of the fight, realised that it was slipping away from him and stepped it up, which you would expect from someone like Pettis with the experience and mentality that he's got. I thought Cowboy looked good though. I thought he gave a good performance. I'm kind of disappointed for him, to be honest, because of where he's at with his career now. I mean, what's that? It's 4 in a row, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like the Tony one, didn't he blow his nose? So that was kind of not. He wasn't iced. He wasn't knocked out. The Conor one, you can discount because, well, it was fucking 10, 15 seconds, and Cowboy even said himself, he wasn't there. He didn't show up. And the problem with fighting anyone anywhere is a double-edged sword, man, because it's like when Chris Lieben stepped up and fought. Did he fight Vanderlei and Akiyama within 2 weeks? And like he fucking smashed out Vanderlei, and then he beat Akiyama with a triangle. And it's that thing of fight anyone anywhere, and you step up and you do it, and you get that fucking amazing storyline that you've done that in 2 weeks, the first person to ever do it. But then on the other side of it, you're getting absolutely smashed out by someone. Do you know what I mean? The thing with Cowboy is, like, when he had Danger and he was completely focused and he had this new thing in his life, his nan's okay, Danger's come along, he's got an absolute reason for fucking doing what he's doing, and he was calculated. And Dana was the one who was saying to him, you're going to fight when I say. And he almost pulled the brakes on him a little bit. And I think that was the biggest favour he could ever have done for Cowboy. But then since Cowboy's been sort of let to run wild again, he's like when he's fighting up and comers like fucking Darren Till and what's his name? Hernandez. He's, as much as the fight with Till was fascinating and he's got Till to where he is, kind of didn't need to do him that favour.
No, he didn't. But same thing with Leon Edwards. Another fight he didn't need to take.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the trade-off though. With like people love Cowboy because of who he is, and I respect the hell out of him for the way that he takes fights and conducts himself. I wish he didn't struggle as much psychologically because if you get some consistency with Cowboy's career, he'll always be one of those people that won't quite achieve what he could have done. I think. Yeah. But then he makes up for it in tenacity and work rate. He's hell of an output. Like I was saying last week when we were talking about it though. Like you compare the two of their records since the last time they fought, and Pettis was 6-8 and Cowboy was 17-9.
Yeah, insane.
Ridiculous amount more fights.
Yeah, but he's almost like Bisping, where like the thing is, Bisping unfortunately always got to the door, but wasn't let into the title contention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He was banging on the door, but for whatever reason, it wasn't there. And it was only when he got the last minute call and he stepped up and he did everyone a favour with Rockhold. And it was then that completely changed the storyline because now he's a former middleweight UFC champion. He's not just had a storied career and been a tough motherfucker fighting with one eye and he's Larry Left Hook or whatever. It's not just that anymore. He's now solidified this in fucking gold, which is amazing. And I kind of want that a bit for Cowboy, but it almost needs to be as organic as Bisping's win did. Because when Bisping was getting losses on certain fights, you were like, nah, you fucking had that, man. That was yours. It's almost like with Cowboy where definitely Pettis. He definitely beat Pettis. The Cowboy thing, like you say, psychologically was just unfortunate, really unfortunate, because of the amount Cowboy kind of coming back, Cowboy being on this tear and doing what he's doing. It was kind of frustrating. Whereas
he got weighed in for it,
eh?
At least he got weighed in for it. He must have made plenty of cash off the back of it.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, it was one of them. I mean, when we were in Vegas, he was at the fight shop, at the hot fight store in Vegas, and he just happened to be there when me and Slim nipped in, and I was looking at shirts, and he was shaking people down for money for his ranch to take pictures. So the guy's a hustler. He's never not hustling, man. He's always on it, and I kind of respect that. I can't take anything away from him, but there's definitely been a portion of Cowboy when he was completely focused and completely on the right path, and I don't know what part medicine of that, what percent of what needs to change to get him to that place again. But unfortunately, just keep signing to fight and to fight and to fight. It's just not gonna work, is it? Because that's your Diego Sanchez side of things, and you just end up being a name.
I kind of feel like that's a part of his solution, though. Like I think he feels like as long as he's fighting regularly, he can deal with the anxiety of it.
And that's the danger, isn't it? Because
if you find yourself taking fights that you might not want to, you might not be prepared for, you might not be healthy for, for a lot of different reasons, just because you want, you don't, people want to stay active for various reasons, and you've got to think Cowboy at this stage, he's not doing it to stay active because he's short of cash.
No.
Like he's a very, very sponsorable fighter. Like Budweiser and all the gun companies and fucking jet skis or whatever else.
Right.
Like, he's very, very sponsorable. So it's it's not like he's doing it for money. I don't think he's that kind of fighter anyway. Really, I think he you look at the way he lives his life. He takes the money that he's got and spends it on things that he loves and surrounds himself with people that can enjoy it with him.
Yeah. Out of the whole card, I think that was one of my top 3 fights I was looking forward to see, and it was the top of the prelims. I mean, I was buzzing. I was absolutely just the fact that he was on there, because I will always tune in, because as much as I hold the WEC on such a high pedestal, because I fucking adored that show. And the thing was, they had a different hunger about them, and Cowboy kind of took that with him. So the fact that you had two former WEC rivals, if you like, on this event, it was amazing. But the thing was, I thought that Pettis, and I don't know if it's because they are friends now, because he even mentioned to Joe afterwards, he was like, we're fucking friends, man. We are friends, and we're punching each other in the fucking face. So I don't know. I don't know if he didn't pull the trigger as hard as he first did, because the first time when they met and he hit him in the stomach, he then went for the stomach and he was going for the finish. Whereas this time, I mean, I'm not being funny. If I've beat him once by kicking him in the stomach, I'm fucking going for the stomach all the time.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm not a professional fighter. It's one of them. It just, I don't know. That surprised me. I thought the Oleinik against Friesen, that was kind of fucked up, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching that one. Just because I think Oleinik, he's just a quirky guy.
He didn't give a fuck.
He's a very, very quirky guy. So we interview fighters during fight week when we're commentating, and I remember interviewing Oleinik, and he's just kind of he's very, very awkward. He's just a weird, awkward dude. But then, you put him in an octagon, and you just can't seem to back him up.
No.
Verdum was just like, what is going on with this guy? I'm hitting him with stuff, and he's still walking forward. He doesn't seem bothered. He's like, seems to be almost enjoying it in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they were talking about how much slimmer and different his build looked, and essentially all he'd done was shave that horseshoe off of his head. Do you know what I mean? He'd taken
relieved of the haircut. I'm relieved of
20 years off of his life, off of his age, sorry, just by shaving this old man horseshoe off of his head.
Yeah.
You're like, doesn't he look better? He does look. He looks well, and it's like, dude, he just had a fucking lockdown clipper cut. That's it. Like before, he's normally got this woolly, just furry fucking like little bit of tuft around the edge. So that was interesting. What would you say was your fight of the night?
I enjoyed Cater. I thought Cater looked really good against Stevens. I'll be honest, because I expected that to be a lot more evenly matched. I expected that one to go the distance and for us to get a rematch. But I mean, Cater looked awesome. I think he was patient to the point where Jeremy Stevens started to overextend himself, and then he started to pick him up. I mean, his hand combinations were faster and more accurate, less reckless. I was very impressed with him. I mean, I was impressed with him when he fought Zabit. I just felt like he ran out of time in that one, and he didn't put his foot on the gas enough. But one thing that didn't occur to me, which should have done really, and I'm annoyed myself that it didn't, he learnt from that fight against Zabit. He put a faster pace out there. Like I expected him to kind of work at a similar pace, because because the fight was going to come to him. Stevens was going to push the pace anyway. So I expected him to just kind of be reactive and just kind of allow the fight to come to him and just outbox Stevens as it went along and like beat him by decision. The fact that he went after him and got that finish and got his nose broken in the process, like when he stepped in and landed that elbow.
Say that again. When he stepped in and landed that elbow. Are you going?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, when he stepped in and landed that elbow, he got caught with a right hand at the same time, broke his nose. Like, that was a risk that he might not have taken earlier, but maybe the decision loss to Zabit did him good because it made him fight with a bit more, pep, a bit more aggression.
But it was how he was setting traps as well. I'd only see. Sorry, Moo's just been up and switched dogs, so now I've got a fucking idiot puppy instead of a seasoned vet. I don't even can even see his face.
Oh.
Who's this derp? Who's that? Yeah. So when he was setting the traps, it was just fucking brilliant, because the thing is, you know what you're going to get with Jeremy Stevens, and it is bite down and fucking swing. And the problem is, it's swing with absolute style and precision. And yeah. I could just see him knocking Cater out, and I was like, this is going to be amazing. And then he got fucking put on his arse. But it was how Jeremy Stevens dealt with that to then go into the Cruz fight. It just kind of, I was like, come on, man, you got to be better than this.
Yeah.
But I think the last fight was insanity. The main event was absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, have you ever seen Gaethje hit anyone with more than one of those punches that kill people?
No. I was amazed at how much Tony Ferguson, especially because we've seen him hurt before. Like Pettis hurt him bad, and so did Vanata.
Yeah,
I expected neither of those guys would have a crack quite like Gaethje stepping into range at 55. No. So like I expected Gaethje to hurt him if he landed as clean as that, and it was amazing. But that dance he did at the end, that little kind of
yeah.
You know,
yeah, just look that, and then when Herb stepped in, he wasn't even like, "Oh, come on!" He was like, "Okay, yeah." I think,
yeah, there was some relief there for sure. Yeah. There was.
And
there as well. Like it's like Roy McDonald. I mean, that fight when he just dropped to the floor with that broken nose, like you can't even question that kind of stoppage.
No,
like, Tony was done. It wasn't going to come back. No point in taking any more punishment.
No. But it was, what is Tony made out of? Like, he's fucking, honestly, how many times did you personally at home go, oh, or, because when you watch a fight, there's only special moments that happens when you are, because I've noticed this, because Stacey said to me the other day, because I was watching it, and she was like, and I was watching it with my headphones on, and I was watching it in bed with my headphones on, it was propped against the pillow, and I went, oh, like this. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing that for? You hardly ever do that. And I realised it's only when there's something that you know is going to be a knockout punch. And then when it carries on, you're like, oh, okay. Almost like when Mike Goldberg used to shout, it's all over. And it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's definitely going to tap, and they don't. You're like, okay, nothing, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So
it's always the head kicks, isn't it? It's always when you see someone move onto you and they like, shin cracks across their face and catching the leg and keep going. You're like, oh, fair enough.
Crack on. Yeah, he made the most of that. But it is that, I mean, I don't know, I just shout, what did I shout? I think I shouted, oi, because it was just the way that it connects. And I was like, oi, here we go. Fix up, look sharp. And yeah, he impressed me, man. I felt for Tony because that fight with Khabib was his, but I've always wanted to see Justin go against him, because we have got to give massive props to your good friend, Justin Gaethje's coach, because, say again?
Trev?
Mr. Whitman, jeez. Have you seen the video yet that UFC have put out? And it's an excited, it's like 10 puppies in a bag on Christmas morning, excited. And it's Justin Gaethje sat on his stool, and he's like looking at the whole corner like, what do you think, eh? Fucking good, right? And Trev's like, dude. He's like, yeah, I'm with you. But still looking around, he's like, oi, what happened when you did this before? And he's like, you got knocked out, didn't you? And he went, yep, twice. Yep. But he like, just fucking reduced his energy. It was like someone turning the volume down on a TV. And it was it was just his calming, like, easy. And he went, bup, and then he was like, focused again. He's like, he's going to go for your legs. He's going to go for your knees. Do your thing. And to watch that as a fan, just to see that interaction, I mean, that's never going to get the actual credit that it deserves. But that's insane, because he's been knocked out and stopped twice in this same situation. But for Trev to go in and have everything behind him and just be like, listen, we're going to be calm now. And he's like, all right. I'd love him to have a go with my kids just to fucking see if he can get them to chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably on his gloves. He needs to create some fucking kid stuff just to keep him quiet.
It just shows the difference that a good corner team can make, you know what I mean? Like, what valuable information that was at that moment.
Insane, yeah. But especially, was it after the first, when he got caught with that uppercut?
Yeah. No, was it end of the second round?
Could have been. It was early, and I think if there were a few seconds left.
I think it was the end of the second. He just got caught winding up a bit too much.
Yeah, but
because Tony's the one that normally does the winding up, and his wind up wasn't quite as big as Gaethje's in that moment.
No.
Yeah.
How do you think it is between someone like Joe and Eddie Bravo as well? Because obviously Joe's commentating the whole fight, passing opinions, and Eddie's really good mates with Tony. And then in between rounds, Eddie was saying stuff like, amazing boxing, Tony. Amazing. You know, he needs to hear that he needs to do something else, surely. Do you know what I mean?
Having no audience there is that they could also hear that because you can hear the commentators. so whatever. I mean, I don't mind that, to be honest. I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, there are going to be some fighters that I like something you say, but at the same time, you know, like to being able to hear the commentators. I quite like what McGregor said actually about wanting to fight in an arena where you can feel the power he can generate or something. I mean, it was a typical McGregor thing to say, but it was a good line.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because imagine the acoustics of his shoulder breaking Cowboy's nose in a silent room. Because it didn't look as much as what maybe it was, but you imagine hearing that. Whoop,
Yeah, but crunch.
kind of gross.
Crunch. Right. Because there's no point in getting into all the fights tomorrow night because the card is upon us, and that would date the podcast horrendously. Tell me who you got in the main event.
Okay, let me just
Must have happened.
let me go to Sherdog while my dog's kicking off behind me. Oi,
We got Glover Teixeira against Anthony Smith.
it's got to be Anthony Smith, hasn't it?
That's what I think. We've done a war room for it, which will be up either later today or tomorrow morning, I think. But the thing is, like as I was watching them doing research, like the ranges are so different. Like Anthony Smith fights at this range. Mystery just said it's going to be up tonight. Sweet. Anthony Smith fights at this range. Glover fights at this range.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if that's the range that you fight at, and your opponent's fighting at this range, it's like opposing magnets. That's what Anthony Smith does. Every time Glover tries to move closer to him, Anthony Smith's going to move off in a direction. I'm just trying to make sure my hands are still in shot. You know what I mean? There's always going to be that distance between them. He's not going to be able to get close to him. And as he does move through that range, those arms of Anthony Smith. I'm just, you know me. I'm high on Anthony Smith. I think he's a very good fighter, and I think we're going to see a lot more from his career. Whereas we're kind of seeing the final throws of Glover Teixeira in some way.
Yeah, but the thing is, dude, Glover Teixeira's on a 3-fight win.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I knew you were going to say that, which is why I'm already here with a reply.
Go on.
Glover Teixeira's 3 wins. So what's he got? Carl Robertson, Ion Kutalaba, and a split decision over Nikita Krylov. I would take a rear naked choke in the 4th over Gustafsson. Like if we were trading cards, and you go, right, I've got a first round finish over Robertson, I've got a second round finish over Kutalaba, and I've got a split decision over Krylov. I'd be like, yeah, I'll trade you a 4th round rear naked choke over Gus, but I'm not giving you anything more. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
And the thing is, in that way,
and it is. I think the Ion Kutalaba was the hype that he was coming off because I was like, Glover's just going to be a stepping stone for this dude, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're right. He had so there's the split decision. There's the arm triangle, rear naked, and then a split decision. But the thing is, dude, it's not like he's lost a lot. He's lost Corey Anderson, Gus, Anthony Johnson, and obviously Phil Davis and John Jones previously back in the day pre-Bok. But Anthony Smith, I think he's found his feet.
Just 1 second. Mystery pop-up. You got your camera on?
Yeah, he comes.
Just 1 second.
All right. Have you got a bottle of poppers behind your head?
Nah, it's not really. It's not really. Clove oil.
Okay. A little bit of ammo in the back pocket.
Just editing.
Editing as we go.
Yeah.
I can remember there's a kid on one of
we did yesterday.
We had a kid on one of our school trips that got sent home early because he had a bottle of ammo in his bag. Took a bottle of poppers on a school trip. Who the fuck does that?
What? Really?
Yeah, man.
What did he say that was for?
Smell this! Yeah, no, he got sent home, man. He got fucked over big time. I think we were only about 12, 13.
How you been anyway? You all good?
Yeah, good, man. Good. I've been busy digging trenches and cabling my shed, making a rabbit hutch, converting it into having where I put my chip pan so I can have real chips.
Sick.
My chip pan lives outside, so it doesn't smell the house out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We're back.
You sorted?
Yeah, all good. That's a nice Raptor sticker you got on your bed, Mystery.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
And woohoo.
You got two woo-woos again. Is that a
And
FRC?
FRC.
Wahoo. Oh, yeah. Love the
Wow.
fish sticker.
Mate,
So, you're saying Anthony Smith then, are you? So War Room's up later today, is it, Mystery?
Yeah, man.
Wicked, wicked. I look
So
forward to
maybe premiere in about 10, but if you're listening to this, it will already be out.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you listen to this, we're rolling. Yeah, who do you think? Same?
I think the same, yeah. I mean, nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, same. I think. To be honest, I mean it's, and I tried to keep it as unbiased as I could on War Room, not because I like one guy over another, but just because I think it's Anthony Smith's fight to lose. Like I think he comes in this fight looking at Glover Teixeira and thinking he's older and slower than he was when he was at his best. His range is half of what Anthony Smith is. And when I'm talking about range, I'm not talking about reach and height. Like I think they're listed as the same height, but Anthony Smith's got a slightly longer reach. But
Yeah.
it's not even about that. It's not about reach. It's about range. It's about the distance between them and their opponent when they're fighting.
Yeah.
And if it and this will be painted in the War Room as well, because I know Jamie was watching the fight today. Like if you watch the way that Anthony Smith keeps distance between him and Gustafsson, it's like that opposing magnets thing again.
It
If you can
definitely.
maintain that space from Gustafsson, who's younger and longer and covers distance better than Glover Teixeira, has longer range weapons.
Yeah.
I just see that walk into range Glover Teixeira that lands his short range Mike Tyson combinations. It needs to be almost forehead to forehead for you.
Yeah.
Like if you think back to when Glover fought Jones, that was almost what was impressive about the way that Jones fought him, was
Yeah.
because he stood in Glover's range.
Yeah.
Smith ain't going to do that. I think I used a Jenga analogy on War Room, which probably didn't make any sense. But it's like Smith's not going to come straight in and try and try and figure it out immediately. He's going to take pieces away and check the balance.
Yeah.
He'll hit the lead leg. He'll catch him with his left hook. You know what I mean? He'll kick his arms. He'll work at him bit at a time. Not be in any rush, because I think he'll know that the longer the fight goes, the better chance he's got of getting the finish anyway.
Especially since Smith's been at this weight. Since he's been at this weight, he's been far more calculated.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he fought Jones and again,
because he can think now, because he's not cutting as much weight.
exactly. And the thing is, I mean, he's a fucking big dude. I mean, we saw him in Vegas backstage, didn't we? When
Yeah.
it was the Friday before the event we were at, and he's fucking massive. And obviously, I mean, I know he's had that story in the media where he had the house intruder, where basically, did you hear about this? Where he woke up and literally his wife was like, "There's someone in the house," and there was a dude stood 10 feet away from him. Has he got 3 kids, 3 girls? I'm sure he's got.
Something like that.
And his wife is like trying to sort out the kids, and then he's fucking wrestling with this dude who's absolutely off his tits on something. And I mean, you imagine that, like, at any point during your life, let alone when you're a fucking professional fighter, like training for a fight in a lockdown.
Dude, I think it's impressive he didn't kill the guy. I'll be honest.
For real.
Like you imagine somebody like, and it takes me like an hour and a half to wake up anyway.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll get up and there are Amazon packages in the hallway. Don't even remember opening the door.
Yeah.
Like shit can go on around me like for an hour while I'm waking up before I fully realise. Like, by the time I'm awake, I'm standing in the kitchen with a fucking like a 18th century battle axe.
Yeah.
There's like 3 dudes on the floor in pieces.
7 heads. Right?
What happened here?
It happened again.
I knew this was yeah. Like you think Anthony Smith, you know what I mean? Like you break and you see that dude, you're like, you don't stick around, do you?
Anthony Smith has got a lot to prove to himself after the journey he took to get from his loss to fight Jones the first time, and it's like he's had to stand at the back of the queue on the most popular ride, and he knows it's like he bottled it the first time he got to the front of the queue, and they made him go to the back on whatever fairground ride you want to make it as an analogy. But John Jones was waiting for him, and he bottled it a bit. He will tell you himself he didn't do what he wanted to do, and now he knows he's got the secret ingredient. He's got that secret formula. He's had a fucking motion sickness tablet or whatever he's done to fight the fear, and he's now almost at the front of the queue, and Glover's in his way. I don't think he's going to be reckless. I don't think he's going to fucking lose his head, because he knows being calm and calculated nowadays, especially in this weight division, where there's a bit more power being carried, especially by someone like Glover, because he's still got heavy fucking hands. Like, let's be honest. Is he still with Hackelman?
No, I don't think so. I think he trains out of his own gym. I don't know whether he goes away for training camp, but I know that he does most of his training at his own gym, which is another thing that kind of concerns me.
Yeah.
Well, Rock circumstance where you can kind of get left behind a little bit.
Well, yeah, because you're the only person in your own gym telling you how good you are.
Exactly, yeah. And it was the same with, what's his name as well?
Roy. How is Roy?
Oh, Jesus. Greedy.
Yeah.
What's the other guy that always comes to mind? Gonzaga. He used to do the same thing, train out his own gym with his own students. And I mean, it's not that you can't be a good fighter, but you're always going to plateau if nobody's there to keep pointing out where you're going wrong.
Well, you'll always be the best as well, won't you? And the thing is that kind of fits into some egos, and it feels nice, especially like someone like Ken Shamrock. I mean, Ken was a savage, but he always needed someone to big brother him to the point where he got better.
Yeah.
But he was just in the sport, not in the sport at the right time, because he's a legend and he's obviously very skilled. But it was a different time that he was there that then afforded him to be the boss of his own gym. And you always have to be the leader. It's like, it always used to freak me out. You know, when like the Ultimate Fighter was a thing and it was very big, like you would never have considered a contestant fighting a coach. It wasn't a thing. But obviously, I mean, Tito fought Matt Hamill, lost to Matt Hamill, his student. Didn't Forrest fight Rashad, or Rashad fought Chuck?
Rampage.
Yeah, and Rashad fought Chuck, and Chuck was the first season 1 coach, and Rashad was a contestant one season 2, but sparked out Chuck. And back then it was you couldn't even consider that. That's not going to happen. They're the fucking coach, man. You're up and coming. Whereas
it's like it was a different league, wasn't it? Completely.
But when that kind of shit started happening, adjustments have to be made. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. I don't know. It kind of brings me on to a quick question for you.
Go on.
Because it's in the media at the minute. And it concerns me a bit with the whole, the Mike Tyson comeback.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? What do you make of that? I mean, I know your power's the last thing to leave you, but, if there's someone that's a little bit quicker or younger and they do hit you flush.
Yeah. Was it Shannon Briggs that they were talking about?
They both agreed, apparently, to BKFC, BBC, KFC F1, something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get the bargain bucket, are they?
And they get a big something. I don't know. It was one of them places is chucking out millions, but it just sounds like the setup of a fucking Only Fools and Horses Christmas special.
The thing is with that kind of thing, and with like Mike Tyson, what is he, 59? Is he 59, 60? He's about that, isn't he?
How old's Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson is 53 years old.
Because I got shit for this last time I called him 60 on the podcast. Someone was like, "Oi, dickhead, he's 53," and he is.
53. 50. I mean, okay, so 53. I mean, that's not as bad. I thought he was a bit older than that, but even so, it's not whether he can throw punches and hit pads and look powerful and still look like he can box. It's what happens when he gets punched and how does his body hold up to punishment now.
Yeah.
It's always when fighters get older, it's far less about what they can put out and far much more about what they can take.
How they can survive. Yeah. Well, look at Chuck.
That's the thing with him. You just don't know, do you? I mean, what can he take? Does he need to be taking any more shots? What amount of money would be worth? Because like the thing is, he's got all kinds of stuff going on at the moment. He's got his weed, his ranch, he's got his podcast.
Imagine if he wins, right? Because there was an animated TV series. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this. If you haven't, this is a really good one to get baked. And I can thank Father Blissmas for this because Chris introduced me to this at work. It's a cartoon TV series of Mike Tyson, animated like Scooby-Doo. He's got the mystery gang with him, and instead of having a dog like Scooby-Doo, he's got a pigeon, you know, because Mike Tyson hides pigeons.
Yeah.
So there's animated series of Mike Tyson with a fucking pigeon solving mysteries.
That's weird.
Burn a fat one and watch that. It will fucking melt your brain. But imagine if he won. Imagine if Tyson became Tyson again. And he credited his magical green for it.
Now you're talking. He can't though, can he? He's not Mike Tyson who he was. He doesn't even talk like him. He doesn't even sound like him when he talks anymore. The old Mike Tyson was a psychopath. He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, he changed a lot since then.
But maybe this focus is almost where Cuss wanted him to get to when he got to Cuss's age, and he could see what Cuss could always see. Do you know what I mean? Because what made me really sad was obviously after Mike Tyson, after the whole Don King thing and the fucking court and all the other bad shit, I'll never forget when he lost. Was it Danny Williams? He lost to Danny Williams in ridiculously long shorts or short longs, and Mr. T was in the audience as well. And Mike Tyson got stopped, I think, in the 4th round, and it broke my heart. I was like, come on, man. Can't get beat in front of Mr. T and fucking pedal pushers.
He got dropped onto the ropes, didn't he?
Yeah. Look behind, top left of them ropes, Mr. T's there. Fully blinged up with a camo bandana. And I was like, that's my man. So, yeah, so you're on a similar page to me, I think. I think as much as it's nice to play fancy matchup, and it's nice to think what would be, almost down to the point of like going, I wonder how fucking Ken Shamrock in his prime would do against like Stipe in his prime, or fucking Kron Gracie against Hoist Gracie in their prime. Do you know what I mean? Just to see.
Yeah.
I know it's nice to play that, but when you see Chuck lacing his boots up and putting his shorts, not lacing his boots up, look, obviously he's not going to wear any fucking shoes, putting his flip-flops on and fucking his shorts and then fighting Tito, he gave him one back when he didn't need to.
Yeah.
Chuck had 2 over him. He was his bitch. He was his daddy. He was gold. And Tito just prodded enough to be able to get that rematch. And you're like, that dissolves everything else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Well, I've got a brand new MacBook that I want to go and get set up. So I'm gonna wrap this up and go and start being creative.
Nice, man. Well, it's been good catching up.
Are you when are you going to watch tomorrow night's fights? You watch them on Thursday, will you?
I'll watch them Thursday morning, yeah. So we can catch up.
Yeah, we'll have to try and record some maybe Friday morning, catch them up and talk about the weekend.
Yeah, because we've got the weekend coming. Also, if you get a chance, you need to watch Brassic.
Okay.
Brassic is, so you remember this is England, that our good friend Mr. Shim is in.
Yep.
The main guy in that, Woody, Joe Gilligan.
I know what you mean.
So he is, basically they live in a little village and he grows weed in an underground weed den. He's a professional, semi-professional thief. He's got his best mate who's got a missus. He's got, and just a ragtag crew of just misfits, just fuckabouts. But Season 1 is fucking incredible, and they've just finished Season 2, so we've just finished it, but that's what we've been watching the last couple of weeks. And I know you don't watch a lot of telly, but honestly, it's absolute fucking gold.
Yeah. Okay, check it out.
A lot of great moments.
I was talking about an old movie with the Raptors today, which you might have seen, which I'll put as a recommendation out to everybody else, because it's a great movie. A Scanner Darkly.
Say that again.
A Scanner Darkly.
Never heard of it.
No, a lot of people haven't. It's a weird one because it's and check this out for a cast: Keanu Reeves, Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder.
What the fuck? Was this when RDJ was fully into coke as well?
Probably, yeah. And when Winona Ryder was robbing stuff from shops.
Of course she was. Researching a role, she was.
Yeah, I was talking to the Raps about it today because it's got like a Grand Theft Auto kind of animation over the film. So like you can tell it's them, but it's not really film footage. It's
like cel shaded.
Yeah, it's wicked though. It's a good movie as well. It's worth checking out.
Almost what, like cartoony, like the way that Natural Born Killers did it, that broke into like different trippy scenes, or just had like
a little bit, but it's all the way through the movie and it's one style. Mystery said like Borderlands, like the movie, like the video.
Cel shaded, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a great movie as well. It's worth a watch.
A Scanner Darkly. Did you mean a Scanner Darkly? Because you can't spell, you thick cunt. Yeah, thank you, I did.
I don't know why you let your phone talk to you like that.
Mate, I need to hear it. This is what I'm saying. You need a coach that tells you to be stop, just fucking step up. It is, yeah. It's cel shaded. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, trippy though.
It's a good movie. It's a trippy movie as well. It's worth a watch.
There you go. This one.
That's the Badger.
Winner. I'm going to get onto that. Well, it's been awesome catching up with you all. I hope you're all good, and I will try and get these out to you for your birthday. But just remember, people, limited. When I say limited edition, I mean limited as fuck, because not all 10 of these are going to make it to the office, because I do like to have a freshie for when I'm going out. So there will be a couple hold back, but yeah, you got 10 of them, 5 of them. Hit it up, man.
Nice. Wicked.
Take care, dude. Look after yourself. See you later, boys. Be good.
Hey, Raptors.